Mr. President, whenever you're ready.
Let's rise for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome everyone to our September 25th Pike Township School Board meeting.
Good evening.
We will start off with our public hearing of the 2026-2030 School Bus Replacement Plan, Capital Projects Plan, Budget. Ms. Gray.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Dr. Young.
Good evening.
We are here tonight for the public hearing on the published 2026 budget, the 2026 through 2028 capital plan, and the 2026 through 2030 bus replacement plan. The purpose of this hearing is twofold: to share information with the community and to provide an opportunity for public comment. As a reminder, when we present the advertised budget, not all of the key numbers are finalized, such as student enrollment and property values. Because of this, we take a conservative approach. We advertise high and adopt lower. By law, we cannot adopt a budget or levy that is higher than what was advertised, but we are always allowed to adopt a lower amount. Advertising higher gives us the flexibility to make downward adjustments once the final data is available. This practice is not about spending more, it's about protecting the district's financial stability while still remaining transparent. In your packet, you'll find the Budget Form 3, Notice to Taxpayers, that was published in Gateway on September 12th. The Form 3 must be published at least 10 days prior to the public hearing. In addition, the full 2026 budgeting documents are posted on our website. While this is not required, we do it as a part of our commitment for transparency. The formal adoption is scheduled for October 23rd, 2025, which must be at least 10 days after the public hearing. At that time, I will request board approval for the 2026 budget, the 2026 through 2028 capital projects plan, and the 2026 through 2030 bus replacement plan. In this process, we advertise budgets and levies for our 4 major funds, along with the rainy day fund. In the operating referendum fund, we have advertised $17 million with a levy of $19.2 million. In the debt service fund, we have advertised $22,144,100 with a $22,088,278 levy. This fund follows the amortization schedules of our outstanding debt and also includes the anticipated debt that we have from the 2025 first mortgage bonds. In the education fund, we have advertised $99.5 million. This fund has no levy, and it is primarily supported by the state tuition support formula. While the per-student funding has increased slightly this year, our certified ADM, which is our average daily membership, will not be finalized until October. This count is a key component of the education fund revenue. In the operations fund, we have advertised $37.5 million for both the budget and the levy. In the rainy day fund, we have advertised $1 million with no levy. In total, we have advertised $176,144,100 across all funds with a total levy of $78,788,278. In your packet, you'll also find the bus replacement plan. For 2026, we are planning to replace 8 buses. Buses are typically eligible for replacement once they are 12 years or older. This plan is an estimate and is reviewed each year during the budget process. Also in your packet, you'll find the capital projects plan. This includes projects with expenditures greater than $10,000 expected within the next 3 years. These projects are also estimates and are reevaluated annually through the budget process. In closing, the total advertised budget across all funds is $176,144,100, and the total advertised levy is $76,788,278. At this time, I recommend that the board president officially open the floor for public comment.
At this time, if anyone would have any comments about our project plans and our budget, this is the time to do so. All right, we have no comments. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. That concludes our public hearing. Next, we'll move on for the good of the cause. If anyone would like to take this platform, you have 3 minutes. You'll start off by mentioning your name, to mention anything for the good of the cause.
My name is Jessica Myrick.
Hi.
Hi. Good evening, Dr. Young, members of the board, and members of our community. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on an important matter that concerns not only our school, but also the values we represent as a community. I am here today to propose that we consider changing the high school mascot. As you know, Pike High School's current mascot is the Red Devil. By definition, a devil is a figure that symbolizes evil, destruction, and hopelessness. A devil is a character whose very identity is the opposite of prosperity, faith, and community strength. When we allow the devil to serve as our school symbol, we unintentionally send a message that contradicts who we are and what we value, and I propose that it is time for a change. We are a diverse community made up of African Americans, Hispanics, and families from many other cultural backgrounds. Within our school hallways walk Christians, Catholics, Muslims, Hindus, and even people of no faith. Yet, even to an atheist, the devil's identity does not change. He represents something universally negative. But I don't want to make this about religion. It's about being represented well. Regardless of any beliefs or lack thereof, one theme remains the same constant in this community, and that is hope, faith, and perseverance. These are the qualities that bring people together. However, these are also the very qualities the devil stands against. Other high schools across the nation have faced similar questions about mascots that no longer represented their values, and when they made a change, they found that it brought their communities closer together, fostered school pride, and provided a new sense of unity. We can do the same. This is not about erasing our history or forgetting our past successes. We honor those achievements. When Dr. Young took over as superintendent, there was a positive shift in the community where we celebrated our past successes and proclaimed new ones. And I believe that changing the mascot will complement his vision and direction for our community. Now, I'm not one to raise a concern without offering solutions. I propose we do a pulse check with the community and see how they feel. I'm just one person, but a poll would let us know if students, alumni, and community members agree or disagree with this request. If the board agrees to change our mascot, we could also offer the community the opportunity to submit and vote on new mascot ideas. My personal suggestion would be to change from Pike Red Devils to the Pike Trailblazers. A trailblazer is an innovator, a leader who clears a path for others to follow. That is exactly what we want our students to be, leaders who are not afraid to set new paths ablaze. As a trailblazer, we will also get to keep our school colors, making the change easier. In closing, I ask you to consider that a mascot is more than just a costume at a game or a logo on a jersey. It is the image that speaks for who we are as a school and as a community. Let us choose one that reflects hope, strength, and unity. It's time to retire the devil, put him beneath us, and embrace a symbol that will inspire generations to come. Please let us not continue to allow the devil room and opportunity to be the face of this community. Board members, will you consider changing Pike High School's mascot? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for the good of the cause?
Mr. President, Dr. Young, to the board, good evening.
Good evening.
I am part of our Pike Parent Network, and I also now have the opportunity to serve as the president of the PALS Club at the Learning Center. So I had our first board meeting today, and we had a wonderful turnout with parents wanting to help the Nathaniel Jones Learning Center. While I was at that meeting, Mr. Hoover was present as well. And I was really taken back because I didn't know that the board members were assigned different schools or such. And it was really pleasant to see board members attending, a small event, maybe 10 people tops. But to see the board out at different meetings, I think that was an awesome job. I haven't attended any small meetings at any of our schools until recently, because my wonderful 3-year-old granddaughter now attends the Nathaniel Jones Learning Center. So since she is there, I am there as well. But of course, I am everywhere in the Pike District. But I just want to say that that was an awesome job. I don't know if that's something that was newly done, but good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else for the good of the cause? All right, if not, we'll move on to Spotlight on Pike. Ms. Sarah Dorsey.
Good evening. It's wonderful to see you all. As always, we have incredible things going on throughout the district. Today, Pike High School hosted its annual college fair for our seniors. The event, which was organized by Mrs. Toria Buckley, who is our fabulous district graduation coach and also runs the College and Career Resource Center at Pike High School, which if you ever visit, you know that she is very busy. Students love her. They go in and they take advantage of her services. So she is just phenomenal. Had 29 colleges and universities, 3 military representatives, and also representatives from the trades. This evening, several of our Pike High School counselors are hosting the first meeting in a 4-part series of our College and Career Nights. This program this evening is specifically targeted towards 8th graders and their families and is being hosted at New Augusta North, so we're excited about that. That's why Mr. Bordenkecker is not here. He is filming it, so if someone was not able to come, we'll have that to be able to show families and share with families. We want to congratulate Marley Jeffers on her recent commitment to continue her academic and athletic career at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. We want to also announce that next week is Pack the Pantry Week. So we invite you to help us collect. It's a food drive for the Pike Red Zone Food Pantry, and it's actually sponsored by Cub Scouts Troop 830, and it was started by Mr. Hop last year. It was a little bit smaller, but now the collection sites are all Pike Elementary Schools and the Nathaniel Jones Early Learning Center. So that is all next week. All of our elementary schools and the Nathaniel Jones Early Learning Center will be collecting food throughout the week for the Red Zone Food Pantry. On Monday, a representative from the Riley Children's Foundation visited Deer Run Elementary School. One of our Deer Run students is currently a patient at Riley Children's Hospital, and while she's there will be a bear in her chair. The student will name the bear, which I'm told is a girl, and in addition, she's decided that the bear needs a uniform, so she will match her classmates. The class will take the bear with them throughout the school and during wherever they go, while the student is not with them, they'll take pictures and then they'll provide written communication and video updates to the student so she can feel part of her classroom community. The Bear in the Chair program is entirely sponsored by Speedway gas station employees that believe in the work that Riley does and want to help children and their families. And it's designed to connect pediatric patients with their school community while they're hospitalized. They also provided a book called Hello Bear, which will explain to everyone in the school why they see this big bear traveling throughout their school community. I also wanted to mention that they shared that this is very rare, but one of our amazing Deer Run Elementary School educators, Miss Adrienne Kelly Wright, visits Riley Hospital regularly to supplement the education that the student is receiving while at Riley Children's Hospital. And the family has given us permission to share periodic updates about the bear and her journey. So we look forward to doing that. We'll have a picture of the bear in our Pike Proud Parent Square tomorrow. Last but never least, we want to thank the donors listed on this evening's agenda. Christina Pash donated books for Pike High School faculty and staff with an estimated value of $16,335. And then the Kids in Need Foundation donated boxes of 3M products for Central Elementary School teachers with an estimated value of $3,000. And we want to thank them for their incredible generosity.
Thank you, Ms. Dorsey. Next, we'll move on to reports to the board. Alumni Excellence, Dr. Young.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. As you know, for the past several years, we've had an opportunity around once a month to highlight through what we have called Alumni Excellence, an opportunity to put a spotlight on a Pike alumnus that is just doing amazing things in their professional field of studies. So for the 25-26 school year, the first individual that we would like to highlight is Ms. Tamara Shobe. Ms. Shobe is actually here today, so I'll invite her up after we have an opportunity to watch a brief video.
Hi, my name is Tamara Shobe, and I'm a class graduate of 2011, and I am a mental health counselor. So my journey after graduating from Pike High School, I graduated from IUPUI as a health science major, and then from there I attended for my master's at Indiana Tech for psychology, and then after that I went back for my master's again, and I went to Indiana Wesleyan for mental health counseling. I started out working with special needs at an adult day service. And so right there at that moment, I knew that I started growing interest in becoming a therapist or a counselor. That's where I grew my interest at. I was working with, not only that I was working with individuals that have disabilities, I was working with individuals who was dealing with depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, so many wide ranges. And so I enjoyed doing that. After I got my master's, I worked as a life coach, working with youth girls that are in the system, so like with DCS and probation, and they loved me there. The kids, oh my gosh, the girls had a good time. Everyone said, how do you work with adolescents? I don't know, I guess it's my calling. It's just helping others. And so working with them, I really enjoyed it. And I think right there is really when I got the peak that I want to be a therapist. And so from there, I applied back to school and went to Indiana Wesleyan, got into the master programs for mental health counseling, and now I'm at where I'm at today. Currently, I work at the Willow Center in Brownsburg, and I am a mental health counselor. A typical day for me is check my schedule to see if there's any changes, like if there's any cancellations or maybe new people have been added or some schedule have changed, so I'll check that. And then I will get my day started by getting the material of what I'm working with my clients. Sometimes when my clients get here, I say, oh, we're gonna work on this topic, or I got this assignment I want you to do, and they come in with something totally different with their stories and situations that they're dealing with. So it's a day-by-day thing. It changes each day because I don't know what my clients are bringing in. One of my most memorable moments from being at Pike was my sophomore year when I won Homecoming Princess. That was a big deal for me because I really didn't know people liked me like that, and so it was a big moment. I enjoyed every inch of it. Having Mr. Dobbs come and he came all the way to my math class and delivered the announcement. He is definitely an outstanding individual. I definitely grew a good relationship with him. He wrote a letter of recommendations for me when I was applying to college. He always looked out to see if I was okay. He's a great role model. He's a very outstanding individual, and he is a person to remember as being part of Pike Township. The teachers really do share interests, and they really do care about their students. And if you show that you're willing to want to learn, family and students, the teachers is definitely are going to stick their neck out and work with you. And I definitely can say that they did that. Our Pike Township is a definitely good school.
Well, at this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Shob up to the podium. As she's coming, she is just a great example of some of the amazing things that Pike graduates are doing here locally, across the state, across the country, and even across the world. So with that, I bring up the show.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this time and giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it. I'm very elated.
Are there any questions or comments?
I think your granddaddy would be proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't have any questions, but just thank you for everything you do, especially the kids that you do work with. I've got a soft spot in my heart for kids that are going through some stuff like that, and so just thank you seriously for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the work that you're doing, and keep it up.
Thanks.
Also commend you on the work that you're doing. I'm learning now, as a board member, that mental health is wealth. And so I appreciate what you do in reaching the people who may struggle with that. So keep going, keep pushing. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love that you work with some of the most vulnerable young ladies in our community who have obviously made some mistakes, but we don't toss them away. They're young. Even if they were older, we wouldn't toss them away. So I'm glad that you're there to provide treatment and support so that they can grow out of their situation and grow into a place where they're healthy and they're happy.
Thank you.
Well, I would have to say, as an alum of Indiana Wesleyan, go Wildcats. Keep doing what you're doing. The work is needed. And as everybody said, we are very proud of you as an alum and all the things that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have any words you want to share?
Spotlight. No, I don't at the moment. I don't have anything. But once again, just thank you for just giving me this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next for the reports to the board, new graduation requirements, Mr. Inman and Mr. Wally.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, and Dr. Young.
Good evening.
Tonight, me and Mr. Wally are presenting on graduation requirements. The state of Indiana changed the graduation requirements starting with the class of 2029. Mr. Wally is going to present on those changes. I'm going to present on our current graduation requirements that we have in place. So, starting in 2023, so it wasn't that long ago, we started these new graduation requirements. So, three components, or three buckets, as we say. Students must earn credits necessary for a high school diploma, learn and demonstrate employability skills, and then demonstrate post-secondary ready competencies. So our students can get three diplomas. They can get a Core 40 diploma, that's a maximum credits of 40 credits. An academic honors diploma, that's 47 credits. There is, in that component, they have to have 4 years of math, usually algebra, geometry, algebra 2, and pre-calc. They also had to have 3 years of a world language. So 3 years of Spanish or 3 years of French. They can also have 2 years of French and 2 years of Spanish, so 2 and 2. They also must have a 3.0 GPA to get that diploma. The technical honors is the same, except instead of the world language requirement, they would have to have 6 credits in CTE courses, again with that 3.0 GPA. The general diploma is a 40 credit diploma. It's a little bit different than the Core 40 where there's less math required, so 2 years of math rather than the 3 years at the Core 40 level. Our students, 60 to 65% of our students earn the Core 40 diploma, 25 to 30% earn the academic honors diploma, and then 10% earn the general diploma. So you can see that ratio there. We also offer the International Baccalaureate Diploma. It's the most rigorous high school diploma in the world. And we again have that program at Pike High School, and 15 to 20 students earn that international diploma each year. So we're very, very proud of that. Also, students must have employability skills. They would receive those through the coursework that they have at Pike High School. Particularly their freshman year, they take Preparing for College and Careers. That meets all those requirements that are needed for that bucket for them to satisfy that requirement. And then lastly, they would need to meet the post-secondary ready competencies. They could do that by earning the academic honors diploma, a certain score on the SAT or ACT. If they're interested in the military, they can take the ASVAB and earn a score of a 31 or above. They also could get industry recognized certifications from the Department of Workforce Development, also apprenticeships programs, and then the CTE concentrators. That's where they would take a series of career courses and again get a C or better in 6 credits of that coursework. They could also take 3 courses in AP, IB, or dual credit. Again, they must receive a C or better in those courses. We also have some locally credited pathways that we use to again meet those needs of the students. But as we've said in the past, the past 2 years we've had 0 waivers. I think we went from 14% to 0 the last 2 years. So our students are graduating at a very high level, and again, without needing a waiver to meet those competencies. But this time I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Wally to go over the changes that will occur with the class of 2029.
Thank you, Mr. Inman. Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Dr. Young.
Good evening.
I'm Jeremy Wally, the very, very proud principal of Pike High School. I'm blessed to be in this role and excited to be with you all tonight. So before we get started, I want to just reaffirm a commitment. Our goal is and will continue to be to set our students up to be overqualified for whatever they choose to pursue after high school. Overqualified. Please say it with me, overqualified. We don't want any questions. We want a cushion, and we want to make sure our students continue to graduate at incredibly high rates. And our goal is, with this new graduation diploma, to make sure we set our students up for success with the class of 2029. So if you look at the table, and we're going to look at the table to the left, you'll see the current Core 40 and the future, which is called the GPS diploma. And so there are a couple shifts with the current and former that I just want to highlight. So if you look at the total number of credits, so we're talking about the total attainment of courses that students have to pass. Currently, with our sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they have to receive 40 credits in order to graduate at the minimum level. Right now, with our class of 2029, that number is 42. The biggest shift that you'll see is that there is an addition of 3 courses that are required of all students starting with the class of 2029. The first one is a communications-based course that students now have to take statewide. The second one is a personal finance course, and the third one is a computer science course. One of the biggest things that people ask
my colleagues ask is, why did we change? Why did we change? What was the purpose of changing? There were a couple of things that the Department of Education looked at related to enrollment, employment, and enlistment. With enrollment, one of the biggest factors were that students were not graduating from college at high enough rates. They were also not enrolling into college at high enough rates. And so the goal is to supplement skills embedded into their coursework in high school to get those numbers up. Another key reason was that with employment, they found students were not entering into the workforce with skills that could really meet the demands of employers across the state of Indiana. And so they did a lot of deep dives and studies, and they found that people were just unprepared. Young professionals were unprepared to meet the demands of a lot of these organizations. So once again, they embedded different things into the coursework to ensure students could get out and tackle those big problems in the workforce. And then with enlistment, there were record lows in the number of people who were entering into the armed forces. Post-COVID, there were record lows in terms of individuals who were trying to get into the Army, National Guard, Navy, all of the armed forces. And so that introduces the idea of these SEALs, and that's what's on the right side of this table. So if you look, these SEALs replace the honors diplomas that Mr. Inman was talking about. So the idea is that students have an opportunity to earn an honors SEAL or an honors plus SEAL in each of the three areas. We will automatically start our students off under the enrollment SEAL. So every single student that comes into Pike High School, their trajectory will be the enrollment SEAL. Throughout their high school experience, they'll have an opportunity to shift if they'd like based on what they want to pursue after high school. The greatest thing about this diploma pathway and opportunity is that students have the autonomy, and if they do decide to shift, there's not a huge change to their coursework and what they have to do. And I'm appreciative of that, and I know our guidance counselors are appreciative of that as well. So if you look at the honors SEAL versus the honors plus SEAL, to earn an honors SEAL, there are certain requirements embedded into each individual area. So for example, for employment, if you want to earn the honors SEAL, there's a certain number of work-based learning hours that you have to receive. If you want to take it a step further, that number of hours almost triples. So you're going from, I believe, 150 to about 650. In enlistment, there's a certain number of community service and public service hours that you can earn an honors SEAL with. To get an honors plus SEAL, those numbers increase dramatically. Our goal, honestly, is to get as many students as possible in that honors plus SEAL, just because that's the highest SEAL that you can earn. And so we're going to continue to push kids as well as we can. Now, earning a SEAL is not required with this new diploma, so it's not required. It's something that we're going to push our students to pursue, but it's not required. Students can graduate without earning an honors or honors plus SEAL. They just have to have post-secondary readiness skills. They have to complete a pathway and a variety of other things. So we're excited about this. We are looking forward to what this is going to do for our students. What it's going to do for our students, and honestly, how they're going to be able to pursue their goals after high school. So our suggested 4-year plan is here. As you can see, there is essentially a sophomore focus of your entry point classes, but then we've embedded our Intro to Communications course and our Computer Science course into the sophomore year. Junior year and then senior year, we've added that Personal Finance course. So no longer will students have to take economics. So what's replacing that is that Personal Finance course in the senior year. And then in terms of, I guess, our path of communication and what we've been doing, what we've been working on. So in winter of '24, the middle school and high school counselors collaborated to discuss new requirements for our rising freshmen. So there was a lot of work done, a lot of meetings, a lot of frustration, a lot of holding people's hands, and a lot of patting people on the back to get through this. But we made it through in terms of understanding the new requirements. In the spring of '25, we held 8th grade curriculum nights for our middle school families at Pike High School. And that's a traditional thing that we do every February. And then our high school counselors also visited the middle schools to just review the requirements with students. In the summer, we had our freshman orientation. This year, it was attended very well. We had over 400 families in attendance this year, and we were able to review those requirements once again. An additional piece that we did is we embedded the requirements into our preparing for college and career courses just to make sure our teachers were hitting that hard in the freshman year, because that's a required course. And then, as stated earlier, there are some college and career nights planned at each middle school and one at the high school. There's one going on right now. And then in the spring, check-ins will be held for each ninth grader just to make sure they're on par with where they need to be. So it's been a long road for us. We're currently simultaneously pursuing, having kids pursue 2 different graduation pathways right now. So that's a little bit stressful on our team, but we have to get it done. And I'm looking around the room, and we've got so many stakeholders in here with kids at Pike High School, so we really got to get it done. If there's any questions, we are open to anything you might have.
Yeah, grandkids.
Kids, right, uncles, whatever.
I have a question. So
Yes.
what happened in this new plan that the state rolled out for the kids that needed the general diploma? Where does that fall?
So they're still pursuing a general diploma. What do you mean? The alternate diploma? Or
So in the what we're doing currently, we had Core 40, and then we had kids that could opt out of Core 40 and get the general diploma.
Yeah, now
Wouldn't have a seal.
now they wouldn't get a diploma. There's only one diploma that they could get.
Okay, and this
So-
is not
so there's not a variation of the 3 diplomas.
okay. So this is not at you all, but if anybody from the state of Indiana is watching, as the parent of a child that the only way he got a diploma was to get a general diploma, how dare you take that opportunity away from our kids? That is disgusting. My son would not have that paper and not be able to get some of the jobs he can get under this current program, and that is disgusting to me. And it's not at you all. You're doing what you're required to do, but that infuriates me.
The move for personal finance from the staple of econ, what does the curriculum look like?
So the curriculum is more personalized towards individual, like personal circumstances with finance. So I believe students are looking more at credit, savings, checking accounts, banking, things of that nature, whereas economics was looking more at a national level, national industries, things of that level.
So you're talking about financial literacy class is all it is, right?
Essentially.
I appreciate the amount of intentionality that you gave to middle school parents. It could be kind of rough, especially if you have 2 children, one that's on the Core 40 and then another one that has the new graduation requirements. It could be confusing, but I like the hand holding that you did, and I'm sure you're continuing to support the parents of the freshmen, especially since they're the ones who are going into something new. So thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
The honors seal and the honors plus seal, are you going to compartmentalize your counselors for each area? Or they just have so many students that are some honor and some honor seal?
Each counselor has a caseload, and so
Which is a combination of both?
A combination of all. So all variations of academic levels. So we won't necessarily compartmentalize, but they'll have a strong awareness of what students are on which pathway as they matriculate through high school.
The reason why I ask that question is because sometimes to put them all together, sometimes someone might fall through the cracks. That's why I talked about a segment of counselors working with the honor and a segment of counselors working with the honors plus. We know you probably won't do that, but I just thought I'd mention that.
Well, one of the things we do really well is we have monthly cohort meetings, spearheaded by Dr. Bishop. Dr. Young is there, Mr. Emmon is there, Dr. Gatewood is there, and we talk about those specific things. So we talk about students who are having difficulty. We talk about kids who are missing. We talk about kids who are having a variety of problems related to their ability to graduate. So in terms of falling through the cracks, we have some systems built in to kind of fight that. An additional thing that we do every October is we have meetings with our team to literally look through each senior's transcript at a certain GPA point to discover gaps, areas for support, future opportunities, things of that nature. So we've got a lot of systems built in to try to fight against that.
Give me one example. What are you using to fight against that?
Well, those two things I just said. So the meetings in October where we meet as a team and look through transcripts and review individual kids at a certain GPA point, and then our monthly cohort meetings where we meet to discuss individual students, individual needs, how we can support these kids, so on and so forth.
Give me an example of a kid that you had to work with.
Oh, wow.
What did you do for that particular kid?
So without saying the name of
I'm not
a
asking you to
student-
say the name.
Yeah, without
No.
saying the name of a student, we have gone as far as pulling students and connecting them with outside resources to make school easier for them from the perspective of getting there early enough to be able to pass the courses that they need to graduate. We've set them up with additional tutoring in our after-school lab. Full wraparound services, and I think that's what's contributed to our 96% graduation rate.
Thank you.
Couple questions. You probably already said it. Now, is the econ class still an elective? You probably said that.
So you can still take it, but
Okay.
it's no longer required in the same way that government and econ
Okay.
used to be on the old one.
And then we have high ability program now. Would that high ability student be already a candidate perhaps for the honors plus, or will they go into?
Yeah, so when
Okay.
you're talking about those students that perform at a high level, so we're
Yeah.
talking your AP kids,
Right.
your kids in the IB
Okay.
program, those kids will be your honors plus
Okay.
kids, and those are the requirements that are embedded into that honors plus seal.
Yeah, so our students that are getting the academic honors now would get the
Yeah.
honors plus.
Okay.
plus seal.
That's where I was going. Okay.
I guess I still have some questions regarding the liability that we have regarding the students that are doing the service learning hours during school, because those hours have to take place during school, and how we are vetting where students will be. I'm sure there'll be a whole process for that, and safety, and that's, I guess, my biggest concern is, and then we're turning our students over to these folks and having a plan to still monitor where our students are, who they're with, and then, because we're still liable for those students while they are with us, even though they're not with us, and they're doing their work-based learning off
Still some accountability.
campus, making sure we've built in some precautions and all of that.
Yeah, those safeguards are important, and we have over 150 students doing work-based learning now, and those employers are vetted, and obviously there's liability waivers and things of that nature that are being signed by the employer and by us.
And I just might just say one other thing, and I heard you say that it would be your goal to get all of the kids to the honor plus, right?
As many as possible.
As many as possible. And I may just add, I do know that even with the high ability learning, it's pretty rigid.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's rigid, and as a matter of fact, some parents, some kids that I'm aware of want to dial down, and parents say no, go at it. So it's pretty rigid, and so I really appreciate how our education here, right here in Pike, is a Cadillac education if we go after it.
And the opportunity's there.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to say, and obviously, I mean, the kids that are at the top of the class, we want them to push as far as they possibly can, get a little of my composure back. Just please help that 10% that was at the bottom. Whatever you got to do, whatever creative we got to do.
There's some flexibility there.
Yeah.
That wasn't there in the past.
Okay.
So when you take a look at it, you can see that it's attainable.
Yeah, okay, good. Just thank you for what you'll do, what I know you will do for them, because they deserve it.
One comment that I have, I I appreciate, well, actually, too, I appreciate the employment piece because, you know, you get a lot of employers complain about the candidate pool because it's, you know, it lacks quality in some cases. So I hope that, you know, as Pike, you know, we will become leaders, and it sounds like that's what the goal is, to become leaders into fixing the problem behind the problem. The other thing, if it's possible, the personal finance part, if it's possible that, and I thank Dr. Moore for bringing that up, if I could see, and other board members, you're welcome if you want to, see what that curriculum looks like. Working in finances for, you know, 15 years before I stopped, it's just amazed I would see 19, 20, 21-year-olds and have no idea what a checking account was or how it works. And so I think that understanding personal finance is a building block that you can add on understanding how money works, and which will probably help people vote better. But thank you again. I appreciate the work that you put in. I'm anxious to see how this is going to.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Any more questions or comments?
Yes, if I may, if you don't mind, Mr. President. Many years ago, we had general business. I don't know if you all remember that.
Yeah.
General business, and then you had the advanced business classes, and it was in the general business classes where you learned financial literacy. Great point from the president. It would be advantageous to see what the curriculum's like, because there are people who are attempting outside of the walls of education to create environments for financial literacy. And I have some of that literature on my desk, but I just wanted to make sure the curriculum was going to be conducive to carry them beyond their high school years.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely arrange that.
Thank you, sir.
We actually have, one of our personal finance courses is a dual credit course through Indiana State University. So we have students that take that course, and then we have another personal finance course that's a general course that we offer to students. So that'll continue to be a practice.
Any more comments, questions? All right, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
That ends our reports to the board. We'll move on to our action items, starting with action item A, minutes of the Board of Education regular meeting, September 11th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Got a first and a second. Are there any questions or comments? All right, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the Board of Education policies. Dr. Bishop.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, and Dr. Young. I seek your approval of action item B, approval of the Board of Education policies as presented.
I move we accept the policies as presented.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Are there any questions or comments? If not, we'll move on to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Bishop. Next, we have the Human Resource Report. Dr. Hunter, due to the confidentiality of the Human Resource Report, we won't entertain any questions or comments. Dr. Hunter.
Mr. President, members of the board, Dr. Young, I ask that you approve the HR report as presented.
I move that we approve the Human Resources Report as presented.
Second.
We have a first and a second. We'll move on to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Hunter.
sir.
Next, we have approval to accept Dollar General Literacy Foundation grant. Ms. Hardiman.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Board President, members of the board, Dr. Young. I am requesting approval to accept the Dollar General Foundation Literacy Grant on behalf of New Augusta South in the amount of $5,000.
So move.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Are there any questions or comments? If not, we'll move on to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Hardiman.
Thank you.
Next, we have the approval to seek the Cativa grant. Dr. Gatewood.
Good evening, President Anderson, members of the board, and Dr. Young. I am requesting approval to apply for the annual Cortiva Agri-Science Grant as presented.
I move that we seeking the approval of the Cortiva Agriscience grant as submitted.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Are there any questions or comments?
From what I was looking at this grant, is this an annual grant that we tend to receive from them? Okay.
Yes, we've had a partnership with them for at least the last 5 years.
Okay, thank you.
And is this the same grant that pays for the plant boxes that we have at the different schools?
A variety of things, but yes, that is among many other things, yes.
Robotics and some other things.
Yeah.
Any more questions or comments? Okay, we'll move on to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Gatewood. Next, we have the request to approve the Part B 611 grant application. Ms. Cohan.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, and Dr. Young. I'm requesting approval to apply for the FY26 Part B 611 grant as presented.
I move that we approve the request of the FY206 Part B 611 grant application.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Are there any questions or comments? If not, we'll move on to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Motion carries. Now, I apologize, we have one more from Ms. Cohan, the request to approve the Part B 619 grant application.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, and Dr. Young. I'm requesting approval to apply for the FY 2026 Part B 619 grant as presented.
So move.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Are there any questions or comments? If not, we'll move on to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Cohan. Next, we have the approval to accept the Dick's Sporting Goods Sports Matter Grant Award. Mr. Jacob.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Dr. Young. I'm requesting your approval to accept the Dick's Sporting Goods Foundation Sports Matters Grant Award.
So move.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Are there any questions or comments? If not, we'll move on to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Jacob.
Thank you.
Lastly, I'd like to combine action items I, J, K, and L. Ms. Gray.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, and Dr. Young. I present to you action items I, J, K, and L. I request your approval as presented.
I move that we approve action items I, J, K, and L as presented.
Second.
We have a first and a second. At this time, are there any questions on action items I, J, K, and L as presented? If not, we'll move on to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motions carries for I, J, K, and L. Thank you, Ms. Gray. Lastly, we'll move on to board member items. Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing tonight.
All right. Mr. Hooper?
All right, so had a chance this last week to go to the Guyan Creek Middle School and Lincoln versus Lincoln volleyball game, and it was so much fun being in a place with two of our schools competing against each other. What made it the most fun was that the high school volleyball team came out to cheer on their respective middle schools, and they did a phenomenal job. They even at the ends of the game ran down and joined the shake hands line with the middle school kids. That was an incredible environment. So I hope our other high school coaches follow the lead of that coach, because that was a ton of fun. Also had a chance to go see How I Became a Pirate at the high school. Maybe it was last night. I don't know. It all runs together. So excited that our young scholars are going to get a chance to see that. It was the funniest thing that I've seen in forever. I was trying to find a funny show on Netflix to watch before I went to see it, and none of them rose to what that was. So the kids did an outstanding job. They even had a audience participation section where they run out and they interact with the audience. And one of the young ladies told me I had a beautiful head, so I appreciated that. So it was a great fun. We also had a great time at the home. She told me later she was trying to make me laugh. I said, "You did it."
You made us laugh.
There you go. I had to after losing my cool earlier. All right, so we had a great time also at the homecoming carnival, seeing the community out like that. I mean, nothing is like being in an environment where our community comes out. It was so much fun. I had a great time there. We had a table for the board there, collected some more feedback from the community. I love everything about the story about the class bear. Thank you to everybody involved who is doing that for that child. That falls right in line with many of the things we see. That's really what being at Pike is about, is caring about those individual kids. And, you know, we have a lot of numbers, but caring about the individual. And lastly, I do, just since it is still September, want to point out again that it is Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorder Awareness Month. I think I misspoke last time, and that's because it had a slightly different name 25 years ago when I became familiar with it. And it has had a huge impact on our family's life. It had a huge impact on my little comments earlier that we had. And so I just want to, the whole point of the awareness is never to put anybody down, but just to put out a plea and again for awareness that if you're expecting, if in the 9th month, to remind you that for 9 months, if you can abstain, it gives your child a lot of opportunities that will be taken away from them, or stand the chance to be taken away from them otherwise. And so just wanted to point that out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoofer. Dr. Webster?
I just want to also give attention to the fact that it is National Suicide Month. And let's just pay attention to each other, and anyone's in isolation, see if you can help them, talk them out, talk them off the wall. Just pay attention to each other. National Suicide Month.
Thank you, Dr. Webster. Ms. Barnes?
First, I want to say thank you to the community for giving us the opportunity to get training at the ISBA conference. 4 of us were there. We learned a lot. The theme for the conference this year was All In for All Children, and I felt like that's exactly what we do here in Pike. We are all in for all children. And so that was nice to hear. I want to say congratulations to New Augusta South on getting such an awesome grant, and to Mr. Jacob as well for pursuing the Dix grant, and for us to be able to receive that to provide equipment to help our sports teams do better and have more fun.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes. Ms. Kelly?
All right. Once again, good evening.
Good evening.
Exciting month in Pike. Lots of things going on. I was able to participate in homecoming, the board training. It's just an exciting beginning of the school year we've had so far. This week is College Go Week. So if you have not, students, especially seniors, this is the week Indiana schools have set aside to allow you to apply, waiving that application fee. Also, this is the week the FAFSA app has opened. Begin filling it out so that if you do run into hiccups, you have some time and you're not at the gun. Seniors, that is a requirement, so make sure you're getting that done. We press forward, we move on, and looking forward to what's next.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Dr. Young?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to thank, first and foremost, Tamara Shobe for coming this evening and allowing us to recognize her. I just think it's really important for our community, for our young people to see what amazing things Pike graduates are doing. Again, community, state, across the country, and around the world. So thank you, Ms. Shobe. Last night, I had the opportunity to attend the Indiana Association for the Education of Young Children. They had their regional meeting at the United Way building downtown. It was a tough conversation, and just this week we realized that the reductions in CCDF funding for our 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and our after-school programs, those cuts are deeper than what was advertised. And the event was attended by early learning providers. And it was story after story about passionate people in this work with no clue on what's going to happen. And that's just how new this news is. And we're watching that closely. It will impact our families who have children in our 3s and 4s program, our after-school program, and be looking at how we can support them through this very difficult time. So I was the last person to have an opportunity to speak at the end of the event, and what I was really excited to share was just the data that we have in Pike, and that data shows that for children that attended our Early Learning Center program for any period of time, their passing proficiency on IRE 3 substantially higher. If we just can get our children in quality early learning opportunities, we will close that gap that people are so passionate about us closing by 3rd grade. I mean, we're showing that we're closing it by high school. Our children, we just might have to extend some of those strategies and instruction and teaching into 4th grade or 5th grade, but by the time they get to 12th grade, they're graduating with no waivers. So anyway, if they want it done by 3rd grade, we've cracked the code. We know how to do it, fun preschool. And then the other thing that I would share is for anyone that's interested, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, the West Side Chamber will be holding their annual conversation with the superintendents in Pike, myself, Wayne Township, and Decatur Township, and this is our year to host, and we'll be hosting that right here at ASC. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Young. In closing, we all appreciate the work that our staff, our administrative team, our teachers, everyone on down to the IAs. We appreciate the work that you do because you are the front lines on this battle with education. I'd like to give a shout out to Principal Jones over at Snacks. I had a parent reach out to me and was happy about a situation that she took care of. And so it's the little things like that that help build our reputation. Also, I had a great time at our community outing, our homecoming community outing last week. I saw that our barber program, and I told them that I am going to sign up. So for the next board meeting, I will be sporting a haircut because I don't want Steve to be the only one with a beautiful head. I'll be sporting a haircut from our very own. So with that being said, if I get a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.